Hi Geminites and members of the Comic Book Alliance. Happy Sunday, although it's Saturday night in the US at the moment. This is my first video. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I was going to go through my shelves, but I just probably end up talking absolute bollocks. Actually, I've tried to do this a few times and it just doesn't work so well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and look at maybe a few books that I've read recently, which I absolutely love and that I thoroughly recommend. I think I'll pick three non-superhero, because I'm mainly into kind of non-superhero, although I do have quite a lot of superhero too. But I prefer stuff that's either about real life or kind of historical graphic novels. So let's take a quick look. Motorhead. So one book that I would definitely recommend, and this again, in fact all three of these books are in the Rolling Stone Top 50 non-superhero graphic novels, is Berlin, Jason Lutes' Berlin. This is City of Stones, book 1 of 3 in the trilogy. I think this was drawn over 20 years, and it tells the story of a group of different lives, a group of different people living in the Weimar Republic in Berlin. In the build up to World War II. So book 1, I think, is just after. It's maybe 2 years since I read this, but book 1 is just after World War One. It covers, the fallout from the Treaty of Versailles, and as you go along, it gets closer to Hitler coming to power. But the art style is it's pretty good. You get used to it. It's very, very nice. It's very easy to follow. The lives of the characters intertwine, and it's an all round great book. It really is. I haven't read number 3, but I have 1, 2, 3 here with me in Shanghai, and also I have the hard cover omnibus waiting for me back in the UK. Okay, moving on, and this is one that I posted up a couple of days ago. I think chatting to Christoph, actually. I was going to post up a review for it anyway. Safe Area Gorazde by Joe Sacco. I've only read one Joe Sacco, but he's done a few. He's done Palestine. He's done, I can just look now, Footnotes in Gaza. But this is about the Bosnian War, and the time that he spent as I'm not sure if he was a war reporter, but he was staying in a place called Gorazde, and that was as far as I remember, it was a city which the Bosnians were able to stay without being attacked. Although, I think, I don't want to give anything away, but it covers life in the war, during the war. It's a little bit similar to Mouse, I would say, in many ways. It's incredibly well written. The art is fantastic, but at the same time, it's incredibly sobering. It's depressing. It covers the atrocities of war, and it covers them in great detail as well, as you can see just from this picture here of a guy getting his leg amputated. I would thoroughly recommend this. I would say it's almost up there with Mouse in terms of absolute brilliance. It really is a thoroughly good read. Another one that I would recommend as well is From Hell by Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell. Maybe not for everybody, this one. It's pretty gory. But I read this when I was in London last year. I had an extended stay in the UK because I had visa problems, and I happened to read this when I was visiting a friend. And as I was reading it, I was able to take days away and go to different parts of London which are featured in this graphic novel, like Spitalfields, Whitechapel. So this is basically the story of Jack the Ripper told by Alan Moore. It's not, as far as I know, historically accurate particularly, but it's an incredibly well written version of the events of Jack the Ripper. I was I actually went on a Ripper tour a year before reading this, so it was pretty cool to be able to read and to be able to recap on the knowledge that I learned. And as you see there, 10 bells, that's still there. So I had a few drinks there when I was, going around looking at the sites. Yeah, it's fun, good. It's a great book. It's not for the faint-hearted though. It's incredibly gory. Yeah, so this is my collection. Okay. These are some that I'm looking forward to reading. I've read On Towards Our Noble Deaths. Fantastic. Again, very, very sad. Okay, the war, an anti-war graphic novel about a Japanese platoon, about a Japanese suicide platoon, basically. Yeah, and the History of Japan, Showa. I'll definitely be reading these pretty soon, actually. Okay, so here are some more of my kind of like indie non-superheroes. Boxers and Saints, that's a really good one. That's about the Boxer Rebellion in China in the late 20th century. Persepolis, that's a fantastic one about the Iranian Revolution. Yeah, and some of my manga. Bit of manga down there. Okay, I really need to get these books sorted into a bit of a better order. And of course, this is where the books often get read. Oop, sorry. Especially if one has been quaffing down a load of Taco Bell. So that concludes my first video. Don't forget, this is a fantastic book. Thoroughly recommend it. You'll read it pretty quickly. It won't take you very long, but it'll hit you very, very hard. It's so well written. It really is. Absolutely amazing. And then from there, if you're interested in this kind of thing, then you have Footnotes in Gaza. You also have Palestine. So that concludes my video. I can't believe I did it without saying the word fuck.